Raise your hand if you know someone who has children. And raise your hand again if you believe that it's better for the kids if their parents are respectful and forgiving towards each other. It can be difficult, can't it? Respect, forgiveness, when you're going through family change, through divorce. And you might be scared that you're going to be one of those families who has a nasty celebrity-style divorce. That you're going to lose all the money you ever worked for. And you're not going to be able to afford to send your kids on those school trips because there just isn't that money spare anymore. And you might be petrified that your children are going to be harmed by this process. You don't want them to be one of the 20% in the NetMum survey who reported that they turned to drink because of their parents' divorce. They started experimenting with drink, and 1 in 9 admitted to self-harming. We don't want that for our children. And you could be losing sleep at night because you're so stressed. You're not going to just be able to see your children whenever you want to anymore. And that could lead to depression, which can affect promotion, your job, even your business. I've read that the suicide rate more than doubles for men after divorce. And you don't want to be one of those divorce zombies. That's what I call them. You see them at parties. They're going on and on about how much they hate their ex. And they don't seem to notice the effect that has on their children. None of us want to be taken over by the divorce zombie, do we? Because the effects of divorce do seem to ripple out, which is perhaps why it's not surprising. The estimate it's reported in the Centre for Social Justice that the estimated cost of family separation on the UK economy is can be as much as £46 billion a year. That's more than we spend on defence. So, is there a way that this can be different? How could it be different? What if you went through your divorce in such an intelligent way, with the information and the strategies that you needed, that you are now financially independent? You've saved over £65,000 on lawyers' fees that you didn't need to pay. And so you've got that money for your kids, so they are going on the school trips with all the other kids. And just think how it would feel if you are emotionally strong. You've come through all that stress and yet you're solid, You're like a rock to your family. And how would it be if your children, they don't just survive the divorce, they are thriving. In fact, you're an example to other families of cooperative co-parenting and respect and dignity and working well together. If you could find out how to save £65,000 on your divorce and keep that money for the kids, would that be of interest to you, yes or no? And hands up if you want your children to thrive. So, how do we go from that place of financial catastrophe, emotional tsunami, traumatised children, and shed loads of fear about the future, to this place of financial independence, feeling emotionally solid and cooperative, successful, confident co-parenting? And is it even possible? Because I can hear what some of you are thinking. Oh, well, it's all very well, Susie. You're talking about this more amicable way of doing things, but what if my heart has been ripped out of my chest by that person? What if I'm so emotionally traumatised that I hate them? What if, Susie, with all your fluffy nonsense, what if I'm so broken-hearted that I can barely breathe? My life is over. Everything's been taken from me. How is it possible to have some amicable divorce? That's a fair question. And it's a question you need to be asking right now. Because as a divorce strategist, I know that if you want to turn that around, you need to begin, well, you can't start soon enough. And as to whether it's possible, well, let's look at this. Because the media really likes to support this view, doesn't it? That once you're traumatised by something, well, that's it. You're a victim for the rest of your life. They love to tell us about those angry, vicious, horrible celebrity divorces. But how often do they tell us about the successful ones? If there was an Oscar for the most successful celebrity divorce, the couple who took such control over the process, the award would have to go to Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, who are an inspiration in how they've managed their co-parenting, their blended families, and making the impact on their children minimal. Then you have other celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin, who were so precise about how they did this, they even created a new phrase, conscious uncoupling. You probably read about it. And then you've got Antonio Banderas and Melanie Griffiths, who wanted it to be so nice and they wanted to stay friends, so they used words about their divorce publicly like honourable and dignity and respect. We can sneer, but that's not easy to do, is it, for all of us? And then you have other couples like Ben Affleck, because you've got the chaos of 3 children wanting to be with mummy, wanting to be with daddy. So what did they do? Ben Affleck and his wife and his ex-wife had separate homes, but on the same property, so that the children were close to both parents. And you might think, oh, well, it's all very well for them. But let me tell you, it's not easy to get a divorce, especially when you have children. I think they work bloody hard to make that work, all of them. And you don't need the resources of a celebrity to have an amicable divorce. You just need to know what strategies to use and where to get the support you need. So, what kind of divorce are you planning right now? An adversarial one or an amicable one? And if you could look for a role model for how to do your divorce, a celebrity role model, wouldn't you rather choose those who've been successful? I would. I can still hear it. Who is it over there? Somewhere I can hear what you're thinking. Come on, Susie. What about when there's infidelity? When there's so much anger and so much hate and that desire for revenge? How can it be possible then to have an amicable separation? I remember those emotions. Come back with me. Come back with me to 2003. It's cold. I'm in the park. I don't really know how this happened to me. I think I'm in shock. You know that film Jaws? There's an amazing shot where the camera stays on one of the characters' faces And then they stay close on his face, but the background disappears because they pull back the camera really fast. And I feel like that. I feel like I'm here and the whole world is shooting past me. And I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I've done wrong. I can smell mud and anorak damp, and I can hear the thud of 14 small Wellington boots. 7 little children hurtle past. 3 of them are mine. 4 belong to Emily. Emily, you're wearing leopard skin boots in the park in January. Susie, I came out in a bit of a hurry when you told me. What are you going to do, darling? What are you going to do? This is a disaster. Don't look at me with pity, Em. If another person gives me that look, I think I might punch them. Yes, I'm a single mum now, and I don't know how I got here. How could he do this to me? Em, how could he do this? Overnight, I have lost everything. It's gone. I don't know what to do. Oh, God, Susie, you must hate him. If he was my husband, I'd take his head off. How can I hate him, Em? When I'm holding my children. They're his eyes, his smile. They're practically clones of him. If I hate him, I'd hate them. And anyway, I think he's having a nervous breakdown. He's really falling apart. He's not been able to go to work. He's all over the place, and I'm just trying to work out what to do next. And the relationship is trashed. It's gone. The person I hate is her, Jolene. Jolene did try to steal your man. I'd have a contract taken out on her personally. It's not just that she didn't try to steal him, she did. She took him away without bothering to mention it to me first. I thought he'd had a car accident or died. I only know all of this because when they got to Gatwick Airport, she found out about his debts. How much? Oh, I think you better go back to Susie. So she sends him scuttling back to me and the kids. And she goes back to her boyfriend as if nothing's ever happened. But it has happened. She's taken everything from me. She's destroyed my life. The house is going to be sold for debts I didn't even know we had. I'm 40 this year. No one's going to want me. I have to say, Susie, with 3 small kids in tow, it is going to be difficult. You're not helping at the moment, Em. It's worse than that. How am I going to get a job? My career's long gone. It's quite hard to keep it going when you're bringing up 3 small children. And I'm still breastfeeding, for God's sakes. My life has disappeared overnight. Gone. Have you ever had that? Just suddenly. And you're not quite sure how. Everything's changed. And all you know is that you're not feeling very happy about it. So what did I do with all that anger? Oh, first, I had to do something even worse. Worse than anything I'd yet experienced. Susie, I know it's a bit shit to do this, but you have to tell them, and you have to tell them tonight. You can't let them find out from someone else. My thoughts will be with you. Thanks, Em. Have you ever had to tell people you love very much something really, really sad? Well, I had to tell 3 of them. 1.5, 4, just turned 6. Children, Mummy's got some sad news. Mummy and Daddy, well, we're going to live in different houses now. Oh, you'll still see both of us, I promise you. But Daddy doesn't love Mummy anymore. He loves you very, very much. And I love you very much. It's because it'll be almost the same, just a bit different. Just a bit different. No one ever wants to have that conversation. And what do you do with the anger, with the sense of desire for revenge that caused all this? Who do you turn to? Well, I did turn to something. Well, I had to. I turned to God, and I was bloody angry. God, what the hell do you think you're doing? You've taken everything away. I had the perfect suburban life and you trashed it overnight. And what did I do to deserve this? Help me now. And he did. The next thing I knew, God sent me self-cert mortgages. I bought a house. It was like a miracle. He then sent me working family tax credit. I started a business with another single mum. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but oh, it was so exciting. I just kept moving forwards. I accessed, people were lending me amazing books that were really helping me. And there was one with a title. It caught my eye. I don't know why. Revenge was somewhere in that title. And I thought, wow, I think I'll read that. And I took it away. And I did Anthony Robbins. I walked over burning hot coals. Coolmoss, coolmoss, coolmoss. And I didn't burn my feet. And life was exciting, but it took its toll. After a while, it just caught up with me. And I found myself with a needle in my arm. I'm in a room that's clinical, cold, shiny surfaces. Everyone's wearing starched clothes. And I don't really like it, but I should be grateful. Well, at least I'm alive. Emily, thanks for coming to visit me. Yay, antibiotics. They said if I'm on it for a week, I should be fine. They don't know when my appendix burst. Well, neither do I, quite frankly. I think I was just too busy to notice. Anyway, there's poison pouring out, so it's too late for the operation, but this should fix it. About a week I should be out. Susie, you could have died. You've got to stop running away like this. It's amazing everything you've achieved, I don't deny it, but you need to find some kind of purpose, something to focus on. I know you feel that you've lost so much, but think about what you're creating. Some kind of purpose will give you a positive way forward. Oh my God, I sound like one of those books you keep making me read. How can I stop? How can I stay still? If I stop and stay still, then all I am is a single mum who used to have a house with a 100-foot garden looking over fields. Only now I'm in an ex-council house sleeping in my living room. If I stay still, then that bitch, every time I see her in the distance, avoiding eye contact, how will I ever be if I come to her face to face? If I've just just some single mum who's just surviving. I can't stay still, Em. Well, we can't have you killing yourself in the process, can we? And I've got an idea. I found something in the newspaper and I brought it in because I feel this could be just the purpose you're looking for. Have a look. It is about the first ever divorce fair in the whole world, which for some reason took place in Austria. Anyway, you can be the first person to do that here in the UK. It's just imagine it. I can see it now. You come into the room and there's a wall of lawyers and the banners say, "Get the best settlements here," or "We'll take them to the cleaners. Try us first." And these are actually in the divorce fair in Austria. Private detectives and DNA testers. So, here we go. Over there, DNA testers, their sign saying, "Are you sure they're your children? Why pay for what's not yours?" Or there's the private detective. Theirs is catch-o-matic, colour photos included. It will be amazing, and you should be the one to put it on. Private detectives and DNA testers. That is so totally not what I'm about. You don't think I've got where I am with my kid's dad by taking that approach, do you? Oh, joking aside, I know you do it in your own way. And Susie, let me be honest with you. Personally, I would have had them both killed. But you didn't. You have somehow managed to create a strong co-parenting, as you call it, relationship with your kid's dad. In fact, your children are amazing. They seem extremely happy and highly functionable. And you've clearly done something right. Don't you think that maybe you have something to share? Have you ever realised in a moment what you're supposed to be doing, but all you could think is, "I just want to be small and shrink for a while"? Have you ever felt that? So what did I do? I put on the UK's first divorce fair. But it wasn't easy. In fact, I'm at a party. There's a local band playing. They're not going to get onto Radio 1, but they've kept us dancing for a while. And I'm drowning my sorrows. And Em is, wow, are those snake skin or leopard skin? New? I don't know how you dance in those, Em. I really don't. How am I? Shit. Absolutely shit. What was I thinking, Em? What was I thinking? I've never put on an event in my life. And here I am, putting on the UK's first ever divorce fair. And the team I've gathered around are saying to me, "Susie, you have to cancel. Susie, you have to tell all those exhibitors you've got in, you've got to give them their money back. Because it's not going to work." £15,000 in debt. That's what I am. And yeah, of course it's on the credit card because I haven't got £15,000. Why? Who did I think I was? Maybe I should just be like a normal single mum. You know, it happened again today. Another one of those nice people from Sussex. They came up to me and said, "Oh, wow, three beautiful children. How do you manage on your own?" Oh, are they all from the same father? They actually ask me that, Em. They really do. I should I should pull out the DNA test, shouldn't I? Oh, I just thought, I wasn't sure myself actually, so I thought I'd just get them tested. Oh yeah, no, they are genuine. Have a look. But maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't to just be small. Oh, no. I see her. Yeah, I know it's Jolene. Oh my God, she's coming over. You stay there and say nothing. I'll handle this. She's shaking. She looks scared. Jolene, wow, it's been a long time. Susie, yeah, I've been watching you for about an hour. I was too scared to come and say hello. Scared? Of me? Of her, yeah, but not me. Why? Well, God, Susie, what I did to you. Why don't you just punch me? Why don't you just punch me? I don't need to. You know what? I think I've moved on, Jolene. Maybe you should too. Have you ever had that happen to you? When you're in that place and you think, oh my God, how did I get here? How did that happen? Wow. Maybe all that fire walking, not burning my feet on those burning hot coals. Maybe all those books I read. Maybe being completely irresponsible financially and following my purpose actually did some good, because in the same way that my feet didn't burn on those coals, somehow that fire of revenge and anger and being a victim doesn't seem to have harmed my heart. And I'm starting to think, actually, what exactly do I need to forgive her for? Because, yeah, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but somehow I'm beginning to wonder if that's going to stop the best things happening to me going forward. And maybe I do have something I need to share. Wow. It's that day. It's happening. It's 2010. The band is playing. This one is brilliant. They're called Tankers the Henge, if you ever get the chance to catch them. And they're playing Smiling Makes the Day Go Quicker at the UK's first ever divorce fair. And I've just come from the studios in Brighton. I've been on Breakfast BBC TV, and the room is buzzing with exhibitors and visitors coming in, and the atmosphere is amazing. And oh God, there's so much press. There's the lady from The Guardian, the guy from The Times, the Mirror over there, and this funny little man is next to me wearing a pinstripe suit, and he's looking really a bit uncomfortable. He's from the News of the World. You remember them? Right, Susie Miller, first UK divorce fair. I don't get it. Everyone here seems to be having a really good time. What's going on? Well, because they're here getting hold of inspiration and information, they're finding better ways to go through family change. That's quite an uplifting experience. Right. Okay, well, show me where the lawyers are then. Come over here. We do have lawyers here, but they're different kinds of lawyers. They're the ones that keep you out of court, the ones that help you have a more amicable way of going through divorce. I've never heard of those types of lawyers. Right, private detectives, DNA testers, because they were at the Austrian event, weren't they? So where are they? Well, I don't have any of those here. Instead, I have different things like, I'm afraid you've missed out, the Mirror journalist has already nabbed them. They're going outside now onto Brighton Beach to do a demonstration of a letting go ceremony. A letting go ceremony. Who's that lady there? She's got a cue. What's she up to? Oh, that's the mystic housewife. She is reading soul cards. Soul cards? At a divorce fair? What are you talking? What's that about? Well, she's opening up possibilities to them. They're thinking, wow, maybe things won't be so bad. They're kind of getting a different perspective on things. And then when they go and talk to the financial experts or the coaches or the counsellors or the lawyers, they're in a different mindset, much more positive one. Well, we've got to write something. Okay, inspiration. What inspired you? Well, funny you should say that. There was one particular book that really caught my attention. It had the word revenge in the title. Revenge. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Right, what's this book called? It's a book by Chuck Spezzano, and it's called Happiness is the Best Revenge. So what happened next? I collaborated with the Ministry of Justice in promoting dispute resolution, better ways to divorce. I've been on Breakfast TV and The Vanessa Show and Woman's Hour on the BBC Radio 4. I've been in most of the women's magazines and national magazines, and I've been in the Times with my kid's dad as an example of a healthy way to go through breakup. And I've created many resources for people to access, to help them find the strategy and the information and the inspiration they need. Because it's a funny thing, isn't it? That sometimes life gives us something that seems like the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And yet, it transforms if we take the road less travelled. It transforms into a strange sort of gift that we can then share with others. And one of the things that I learnt was that in the battlefield of divorce, in the war of family separation, peace became my weapon of choice. In fact, write that down. Peace is my weapon of choice.